Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MLB Playoff Picks for 2021. Great season in the books for baseball. 162 games came and went. Great day yesterday. I thought there was going to be some tiebreakers today, but no such luck. No tiebreakers today. We have the full playoff format finalized. We have our 10 teams, and one of them will walk away as world champions of baseball. Some surprises in this bracket, some teams that most people expected to see, but let's just jump right into the picks. I picked the Dodgers preseason last year, and they won it all. I picked the Padres preseason this year, and they're not here. Very sad stuff from San Diego. You're going to need to get your act together in the future. But let's get into these picks. The AL wildcard game will be played tomorrow. Boston and New York. Now, Boston, they have the exact same record. I think they're both 92-70. But Boston is going to get to host this game because they did better against New York in the season series. So that's why this game will be at Fenway Park. Interesting game here. Two really good teams. No JD Martinez for the Red Sox. He sprained his ankle on second base while jogging onto the field. And I know DJ LeMahieu is also going to be out. I forget why, but I know he's not going to be able to play. The Red Sox are at home. They should win, but honestly, I feel like the Yankees pitching, their overall pitching is better, and I cannot bet against the evil empire. So I am going to take the Yankees in this first wildcard game to go face the Rays. Now, this game is on Wednesday in the National League between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. The Cardinals will be traveling out to Chavez Ravine to play the Dodgers. Now, the Cardinals are pretty much left for dead in the middle of in the water. They had the same record as the Cubs for a while, and everyone's like, shoot, Cubs aren't making the playoff. They traded all their good players. The Cardinals are right there with them. And then the Cardinals won. They started creeping up, winning a few games. They rolled off 17 wins in a row, almost tied the MLB record held by the Moneyball A's at 20 wins in a row. Now, if they would have kept that streak going, I would have picked them. And to be honest, in any playoff series you look, you're like, all right, the Dodgers have the better pitching. The Dodgers have the better hitting. The Dodgers have the better bullpen. The Dodgers are looking like the best team in baseball besides maybe San Francisco. The Dodgers should win, and then the Cardinals go out and they win. That's just how the Cardinals work. They thrive under this underdog mentality, but, I mean, LA is just too talented. I mean, it's on the road. They kind of struggled in their last series against the Cubs. I just don't see St. Louis winning this one. One game winner, go home. The Dodgers have too much depth. Give me LA. All right, I saw an interesting post today. It was a post from back when the Rays traded Blake Snell. They're like, the Padres improving to become a World Series contender while the Rays stay the Rays, blah, 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 blah. Well, the Rays are the number one seed in the American League and have the third best record in baseball, and the Padres are on their couch right now watching the rest of these teams play October baseball. You never trade with the Rays. Just don't do it. You don't trade with the Rays because they will win the trade. They traded Willie Adames, and everyone thought that was a bad move, but then they got Nelson Cruz. They got Nelson Cruz. He's been hitting home runs. They have an amazing pitching staff. Their bullpen is nuts. They just have an endless supply of relievers that throw 95 to 100 plus. I mean, they're just ridiculous. And the Yankees played them last year, and you got to feel like the Yankees are going to be out for some sort of revenge, but I mean, everyone can agree the AL East is the toughest division in baseball. I mean, they had three playoff teams, almost had four. The Blue Jays were one game out. So 4 playoff caliber teams. I mean, the Jays are better than the Braves, who are in the playoffs. So 4 back up. And the Rays won that division. I'm sorry, the Rays they're just too good right now. Their pitching is elite. Their offense, it gets the job done. They don't have very many household names, but they get the job done. I think the Rays are going to do just what they did last year and come away with the win. Their pitching depth it's just too good. So give me Tampa Bay in this division series. All right, next we have one of our playoff newcomers. I know they were there last year, but I mean, come on, they were the 7th seed. They wouldn't have made it in a normal season. But the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox. So the White Sox ran away with their terrible division. My God, that division was horrible, like it usually is. Sox were able to easily win it. They got great players: Tim Anderson, Jose Abreu, Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez. I mean, endless guys. Even players that you may have never heard of, but they're just nuts, like Gavin Sheets. Dude is nuts. Sevi Zavala. Dude is nuts. Zach Collins. Dude is nuts. They just have endless supplies of hitting. I mean, they're hitting Adam Engel. Dude's nuts. Billy Hamilton. They have Billy Hamilton too. Their hitting is just off the charts. They can hit and hit and hit and hit and hit. And their pitching, not bad either. Carlos Rodon damn near threw a no-hitter. Lucas Giolito threw a no-hitter. No, Carlos Rodon did throw a no-hitter. We're talking about damn near through. No, he did throw a no-hitter. Giolito threw one last year. I mean, they've got Lance Lynn was in the Cy Young conversation for a long time. They have 3 legitimate ace starting pitchers. They're loaded. I love what I see out of the White Sox. Houston, arguably just as loaded. They still got Justin Verlander. They still got a bunch of studs on their team. They still got Altuve. They still got Bregman. They still got Correa. The only person they really lost was Springer. And they went out and they won a very competitive AL West with the A's and the Mariners, and even the Angels. I mean, the Angels have 2 MVPs on their team. And the Astros beat them all out, and they won that division. So this is going to be a cutthroat division series. I mean, this is going to be... It's going to go 5. It will go 5 games. It's close. It's really close for me. I don't know. This is a flip of the coin, but I'm going to go with the young up-and-comers. I think they have the better pitching, and their lineup will be able to do just fine. I'm going to take the Chicago White Sox to win this series. Very close competitive series, but I give the edge to Chicago. Okay, next we have the 2 best records in baseball who will be most likely facing off in this division series, unless the Cardinals have something to say about that. But San Francisco and LA, 106 wins and 107 wins respectively. They had a combined 213 wins. That's just ridiculous. But they're going to be most likely facing off against each other. Now, the Dodgers are building an empire. I mean, they just have endless gobs of talent. It's just ridiculous how much talent's on that team. San Francisco, though, they play as a team and they get the job done. I mean, Kevin Gausman, ridiculous. Chris Bryant came over there from Chicago, and he's been making a big impact. Brandon Crawford is having a career renaissance. Mike Yastrzemski, nice young stud they have. I mean, they don't have the same team on paper, but record-wise and what I've seen out of them, they're just as good as LA. Everyone's like, oh, LA's going to win the division. They're so much better. No, they didn't. LA's a great team, but this team in San Francisco knows what's up. This is another tight, competitive series. It will go 5 games most likely. It's a coin flip for me, but I'm going to go with the team that won the division and the team that's going to have home field advantage in this series. I've seen way too much out of this team to pick against them. Give me the New York I almost said the San Francisco baseball Giants. Because I know they said the New York football Giants. The San Francisco baseball Giants win this series. All right, I'm going to make this next one quick. I think the Brewers will win this series. Atlanta is the worst team in the playoffs. And, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I'd rather be the worst team in the playoffs than the best team that didn't make the playoffs. But I just think the Braves are outclassed here. I mean, Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff, and and Corbin Burns. I mean, they're just ridiculous pitchers. I mean, their pitching depth is weight. You're going to get them 1, 2, 3. I just don't think that Atlanta has any pitchers really to compete with them. I think it's going to be a sweep. I think that Atlanta is just outclassed here. Devin Williams did hurt his hand. He hurt his hand or leg doing something. I can't remember. It was stupid, though. I remember he did something dumb. But Devin Williams is going to be out for the entire playoffs. I don't think it matters in this series. A Hader can hold down the bullpen. I think that the Brewers will win this series easily. All right, now ALCS, Rays and White Sox. I think the Rays will win. I mean, nothing against the White Sox, but their first really true year with playoff experience. I'm not really counting last year. They played like 3 games. I know Tony La Russa's been to the playoffs, but I don't believe in him as a manager. The Rays, I mean, they did this last year. I mean, they're just going to dominate you with their pitching. I think good pitching beats good hitting. It just does. Think about it. The best hitters get a hit 3 out of 10 times. The best pitchers get outs 8 out of 10. I mean, it's just common math. I think that especially in the playoffs, you're going to need good pitching, and the Rays have it in bunches. Sort of the Sox, but I think the Rays can just beat you with their depth. Their depth is just ridiculous. I mean, their full playoff roster contributes. I mean, they're just unbelievable the way they win games. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this CS series. All right, this NLCS, it's tough. I mean, this NLCS it's really tough. I don't know who to go with here now, but the obvious choice is the Giants. But the reason I'm leaning towards Milwaukee is they have those 3 pitchers that I feel like could just eat you. Peralta, Burns, and Woodruff. I feel like they could just eat you alive if they want to. It's really close to me. I mean, their lineup obviously has studs too. They got what? Christian Yelich. They got Adames from what's their names? From the Rays. The Rays got some good players. They sure do. They got Adames. They've got. Oh, I'm forgetting people. I mean, their lineup. They're kind of like the Rays in their lineup. It's like they don't have a bunch of stars, but I mean, they still can they can eat you alive. But I think I'm gonna have to go with San Francisco. I mean, they just look too good all year. Their pitching could definitely compete. And, I mean, there's a reason they won 106 games. This is a legit team. There's a reason they got the best record in baseball. I can't bet against them. I'm going to take San Francisco to win the Dash League. So now our World Series is set. Okay. The Rays. We've gone over both these teams in detail. The Rays obviously made it here last year. Eventually lost in 6 games to the Dodgers because Kevin Cash pulled Blake Snell early. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. I think if there's a pitcher dealing in like the 5th inning, he's not going to take him out. All right, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that he's learned his lesson. Now this is going to be a great series. Giants would have home field advantage since they had the better record. This would be a cutthroat series. These are 2 teams where their lineups don't have marquee players, but they get the job done. They both have good pitching. The pitching for the Giants has been just fine. Their lineup can hit. Same thing with the Rays. These teams are so eerily similar to each other that I think it's going to come down to motivation. The Giants have won 3 World Series in they won like 3 in 5 years. This Rays team is playing with a presence. They're playing with a presence. And they're making revenge from last year. I think that's the only thing on the mind of Rays players is getting revenge from last year. I think they beat an NLS team this time around. And I think Tampa Bay Rays will win the 2021 World Series. So those are my picks. Like them or hate them. You don't have to agree with them. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'd like to see who y'all are picking. And yeah, I'll try to do some streams for the wild card games, Division Series, and eventually World Series. I do like getting streams out. So I'll see you guys throughout the playoffs on Quincy Bell Sports. Have a great day.